Set as we take you, Brian. Race 1 in the Valley.
Green light comes up in their racing. Atomic View out wide, showing speed. Awesome Gary has gone away with them. Not interested in the early battle, though, as Atomic View now works to an early lead. From on the outside, Perceptible. Carawina return the leaders back. Risen Star 3 out, 4 out, Rocky Linden. Then Bowers Best, 1 off the fence. Awesome Gary restrained. He's second last out of the straight. Transport of the inside. Then Moonfella third last and 4 metres away, Mr. Tubbs. At the 1600, the leader is Atomic View. By 5 metres to Carawina return on the inside of Risen Star. Rocky Linden 3 out goes forward. Awesome Gary trailing him. Back in behind them, Perceptible 1 off the fence. Transport of the rail. 4 metres to Bowers Best, Moonfella. And 5 metres away, Mr. Tubbs. At the 1400, it's Atomic View in front by 5 metres. Rocky Linden finally works up to the leader's wheel. So Awesome Gary, he's now on a limb out 3 wide. He continues to go forward, though. Then Carawina return, having a nice run 4th on the inside. 5th and 1 off the fence, Risen Star. 5 metres away, Transporter, followed by Perceptible. In behind the Moonfella. Bowers Best is second last and 4 metres away, Mr. Tubbs. Down the straight they travel at the 1,000 metres, and Awesome Gary, he now travels up into second placing. He draws up within 2 metres of the leader. Now a metre to Atomic View. Carawina returns at a nice run, the leaders back. Rocky Linden 4th. In behind them, Transporter the inside, followed by Risen Star. Then Perceptible, who's 4 back on the outside of Moonfella. From last now, Mr. Tubbs pulls to the outside 3 wide, but he's flushed out Bowers Best ahead of him. Out of the straight they race towards the 650. It's Atomic View in front. He's had a pretty good run by 2 metres to Awesome Gary. Out 3 wide now, Risen Star pulls to the outside, followed by Carawina return. In behind them, Bowers Best now pulling out on the back of Risen Star. Under pressure, Rocky Linden not going well. Then Transport of the inside, followed by Perceptible, Moonfella and Mr. Tubbs. At the 450 before the turn, no more than about 15 metres had covered the field. It's Atomic View by a metre. 2 on the outside, Awesome Gary. Carawina return going well, needing a run on the leader's back, followed by Risen Star under pressure. Bowers Best now pulls to the outside, followed by Rocky Linden gone, then Transporter. At the 200 they straighten up. Awesome Gary on the outside. He's had a little luck. He ranged up to tackle Atomic View. Carawina return pulls to the outside in plenty of time at the 100 though. Awesome Gary, he kicked his 2 metres in front. Carawina return is trying very hard, but this is the real Awesome Gary. Awesome Gary gets there 1.5 metres to Carawina return. Bowers Best third. Then Atomic View knocking up, followed by Transporter, Moonfella. Out wide, Mr. Tubbs, then Perceptible, Risen Star, and last in was Rocky Linden.
And 2 there.
Off around the field. Tantanoola Tiger led. Delray Hanover's getting around them pretty quickly. Lord Chris behind the leader. In the centre, Le Cedier now just goes with Delray Hanover for a while. They are followed further back in the field then by Game D on the rails as Delray Hanover looks for the lead, and it's got the speed to go past Tantanoola Tiger. This will leave Filbert Street in the 1-1. 5 metres to Shot Over outside of Intended Idol. 6 metres further back in the pack then Special Dundas. And the other one, Smoky Sergeant, has got little hope of tacking on. Lead time 1:25.1, and the leader is Delray Hanover by 4 metres. There was that errant finger next door. Led 4 metres in second placing Tantanoola Tiger. 4 metres away on the inside, Lord Crest. On its outside without cover again, Le Cedier. Filbert Street 1-1 around Game D. It's now 4 back the inside. Shot Over's not that far off the lead. Back on its inside, Intended Idol. Then another 4 metres away, Special Dundas, and you can safely forget Smoky Sergeant. Leaving the back straight, 1.5 laps out, and it's Delray Hanover. It did jump the TAB favourite. It leads 5 metres. In second placing, Tantanoola Tiger racing off the bit, but he usually does that. On the outside, Le Cedier. Behind them, Lord Crest. It's had a good trial, but it's held up. Filbert Street outside of it. Game D next on the rail. Still no move from Shot Over. Intended Idol second last of the main group. Special Dundas last. First quarter run in 33.2. Leader looks to be travelling pretty well at the judge. A lap out. Delray Hanover out in the clean spot in the track out in front. Not getting the stuff thrown back into its face. It led 4 metres. Tantanoola Tiger runs second. On the outside of it, Le Cedier. Second quarter, 32.3. Lord Crest waiting for a run to come. Then Filbert Street, Le Cedier just dropping back a little bit in front of it. Now Shot Over takes off 3 deep and it's sprinting quickly. They are followed then back along the inside by Game D. And then further back, Intended Idol and Special Dundas. Down the back they okay trot. Delray Hanover still going okay. Shotover's made good ground. It's about to move up outside of Tantanoola Tiger and get out after this leader. Lord Crest driving up behind them, and then further back Lascentier, the rest not doing enough, headed by Game D. Still Delray Hanover on the turn, 200 out. Cavallaro driving pretty confidently. Shotover gets within 3 metres. Lord Crest still looks for a split. Then Tantanoola Tiger in the straight. Delray Hanover's going strongly. Shotover can't get him. Lord Crest gets through late, but Delray Hanover too strong, and Delray Hanover just under 4 metres on the line. Lord Crest gets second, 5 metres away, Shotover third. Then Tantanoola Tiger making some late ground special Dundas through the pack. Then Game D, Filbert Street Intended Idol. Lascentier got tired, and Smoky Sergeant tails right out.
All right, 8-3-1 there, Globe Derby race 1. A pretty long race that, the 2,645 metres. We've got this replay coming up. Nothing we could do about that. They jumped at Wenny Park, race number 1. We've got the recording from Peter Johnson. Let's have a look and see how they went in the first.
Race 1, Wentworth Park Racing. Explorer left beautifully off the inside from Amerigo Maker. Out wide was True Friend, trapped deep into the first corner. Railing Sonic Image moving up. And then came a Dulux Joker. Jazz Bale is right behind it, but it got scrambled with Better Idea. Beagle Boy Eyes is in all sorts of bother, resulting Better Idea falling. And Amerigo Maker got into trouble on the home corner. It's all Explorer. Explorer leads by 6 lengths to Dulux Joker, going to third True Friend and Sonic Image. Explorer turned in front, forward to Dulux Joker, cutting it down. But Explorer too good. Explorer 2.5 Dulux Joker. Getting up for third True Friend, followed by Sonic Image. A break in the field of Jazz Bale, and then came a long break, Beagle Boy Eyes, Amerigo Maker, and one of the last.
Well, those placings there, 3, 1 and 8.
The 7. Green lights on there, racing out wide. Son of a Guest is showing speed. So too is McCringle with Romeo Chapel. Franco Steele is trying to keep them out. Just in behind them, Holy Smoke, it's Elliott. And Rainboy on the outside dropped out to last. McCringle, the outsiders, trying to head off Romeo Chapel out of the straight, but can't. The first turn comes up at the 1700, and Romeo Chapel goes through and leads in second, placing Franco Steele. Third without cover, McCringle, and peeling off its back now in turn is Son of a Guest out wide. Holy Smoke on the rails, 6 metres to It's Elliott, and Rainboy 5 metres away last. At the 1500 down the back, and the leader Romeo Chapel. He steadies now by 4 metres to Franco Steele. Ahead away third, Son of a Guest without cover. Then Holy Smoke on the fence, and up on the outside McCringle. It's Elliott travels up to be second last, and 3 back on the outside of Rainboy, who's last on the fence, and no more than about 15 metres had covered the field of 7. Travelling off the top turn in the first circuit, Romeo Chapel held together in front. At his wheel is Son of a Guest, and a neck away third is Franco Steele. Then McCringle fourth on the outside of Holy Smoke. He's third last, and 3 back on the fence. 2 metres away, it's Elliott second last, and a metre back on the fence, Rainboy last. It'll be a sprint home at the 1,000 metres. Romeo Chapel, he's had a pretty good run in front by 1.5 metres. 2 on the outside, Son of a Guest. On the fence and third is Franco Steele. Fourth on the outside, McCringle. In behind them, Holy Smoke, followed by It's Elliott, and 3 metres away, Rainboy the fence. Out of the straight at the 800, Romeo Chapel still in control by 3 metres. 2 on the outside, Son of a Guest, who's being tickled up on the outside of the leader. Franco Steele third. Fourth on the outside, McCringle. He's on a loose rein, followed by Holy Smoke, It's Elliott, and Rainboy. Inside the 600 down the back, Romeo Chapel narrowly in front of Son of a Guest by a head. Franco Steele, the leader's back, as third. McCringle on a loose rein. It's Elliott from second last now, pulls to the outside, followed by Holy Smoke and Rainboy. Tightly packed, 400 metres out before the turn. Romeo Chapel just in front of Son of a Guest on the outside. No run for the moment for Franco Steele. McCringle under pressure with It's Elliott. No run for Holy Smoke, and still last is Rainboy. At the 200 though, they straighten up. Son of a Guest on the outside. He's had little luck. He draws up on the outside to tackle Romeo Chapel. Romeo Chapel at the 100 ahead in front. Son of a Guest won't give in. Son of a Guest draws to Romeo Chapel. Here's Franco Steele. He's out in the clear now, coming out after Son of a Guest, but Son of a Guest is hanging on near the line, and Son of a Guest gets there 1.5 metres to Franco Steele. Tight third, Romeo Chapel or Rainboy, then Holy Smoke. McCringle's run second last, and It's Elliott has run last.
Getting down towards the starting point. Blue light flashing, and they're racing in the Phoenix Paints and a Lacquer's Pace, and the early leader in the event was Turf Cutter, taken on by Pigment. They were being followed by It's His Grace, Overnight Sensation, out Chelsea Square from Granshire, Moormill, Galway Fella, and Love to Spare was last of all. Moormill put in a bad one at the turn out of the straight and has dropped right out of the event, but down the back, and Turf Cutter was the leader. 3 parts of a length to Pigment, followed by It's His Grace. Next in the event was Overnight Sensation, one moving fast around the outside, out Chelsea Square, along the rail, Galway Fella. From Granshire, Love to Spare, and long last was Moormill. The pace fairly solid as they leave the back and commence to run around the corner the first time, and Turf Cutter showed the way by 3 parts of a length to out Chelsea Square. Third was It's His Grace, followed then by Pigment. In behind them, Galway Fella, Overnight Sensation, Granshire, Love to Spare, and still Moormill brought up the rear. They make the run down to the judge with 1,500 left to travel and no change in the order, where Turf Cutter was bowling along in front, 3 parts of a length to out Chelsea Square. It's His Grace on the rail. They were followed then by Pigment, Galway Fella. In behind those, Overnight Sensation from Granshire, Love to Spare, and Moormill was last but not a long way from them, casting the 600 astern, and Turf Cutter was in charge, doing it nicely over It's His Grace. Out Chelsea Square now 3 wide, being followed by Galway Fella, Pigment in the centre of those runners. Granshire was next from Overnight Sensation, Love to Spare, and Moormill. They leave the back and make the run to the corner, a lap and a quarter before them. In the Phoenix Paints and Lacquer's Paint, and still the leader of the event would be Turf Cutter. He's showing out a half a length to the good of out Chelsea Square. It's had a hard run. Next was It's His Grace, followed then by Galway Fella, Granshire the rail. In advance of Overnight Sensation, Love to Spare, and Moormill brought up the rear. Down to the judge they travel, the bell lap coming up this time in a fairly compact field, and Turf Cutter was in charge over It's His Grace. Going fast now was Love to Spare, back in the field too, Galway Fella, Pigment, Granshire, Overnight Sensation, and Moormill was last. 600 left to travel, and Turf Cutter and Love to Spare were matching strides out in front. Galway Fella was third from It's His Grace. Pigment now putting in its claim, followed by Overnight Sensation, Granshire, Moormill, and out Chelsea Square brought up the rear. 400 out, and Turf Cutter showed the way, and next to Love to Spare, Galway Fella next from It's His Grace, Pigment, Overnight Sensation, Granshire, Moormill, and out Chelsea Square. 250 left to travel, and still the leader was Turf Cutter, and next to the good over Love to Spare. Galway Fella on the rail was next, followed then by Pigment and Overnight Sensation, but in the straight, Turf Cutter clear. Love to Spare trying hard to get at it. Both drivers at work with a stick. It's Turf Cutter in front. Love to Spare trying to wear it down. They get down to the wire. Turf Cutter won the money from Love to Spare. It's His Grace. Galway Fella, Overnight Sensation, Pigment, Moormill.
371, mate. Now let's go back to this market in Brisbane for you. The odds-on favourite, of course.
Kid, the favourite. Drawn, gate number 3. Drawn to lead. Lights on. Racing, and Mars Bar Kid sizzled out of the gate. Wada Wally from the inside came out with him, and Wada Wally's declared the favourite on in the first 100 metres. Wada Wally with his head in front as they reached the first turn. Mars Bar Kid second. Little Rufus third. Bell McEwen fourth. And then Gate Tour on the inside of Zululand, followed by Conniepreneur, Glenwarry and Rain Lover. Trust Player second. Last and Bobby's Jewel dropped out to the tail of the field. Lead at any cost were the tactics with Wada Wally, and at the end of the first quarter he's a length and a half in front. Mars Bar Kid second. Trap Without Cover. Gate Tour third on the back of the leader. Little Rufus fourth. 1 out, 1 back on the outside of Zululand, and Glenwarry's 3 back in the running lane. Then Rain Lover, followed by Trust Player on the outside of Bobby's Jewel. Conniepreneur is second. Last and Bell McEwen is 2 lengths away at the tail of the field. 28.8 first quarter of the mile. And Wada Wally shows the way to the back. Leads by more than a length over Mars Bar Kid. Gate Tour third, hard on the back of the leader. Little Rufus fourth on the outside of Zululand. Then Glenwarry around Rain Lover, followed by Trust Player, Bobby's Jewel, Conniepreneur, and 2 to Bell McEwen. 32.1 second section. Wada Wally's in front at the 600 metres mark. Mars Bar Bar Kid at his wheel. Gator third, locked up on the rail. Little Rufus fourth, and then Glenwarry on the outside of Zululand. Rain Lover comes off the fence, pokes up in the centre. Trust Player three deep, and then Bobby's Jewel, Connie Preneur and Bell McEwen. Wadawally kicked away at the 300. Mars Bar Kid's under pressure. He's gone, and Wadawally kicked 2.5 in front of Gator. Mars Bar Kid will be flat running a drum. Then Little Rufus and Glenwarry on the outside, but Wadawally kicked around the turn. Wadawally 2 in front of Little Rufus starting to run on. Then Gator and Glenwarry. Wadawally in front. He's getting tired. Little Rufus driving at him. Here's the post coming up. Wadawally hangs on. Wadawally wins the money from a photo between Little Rufus and Glenwarry. Then Connie Preneur, Gator, Bill McEwen, Trust Player, Rain Lover, Bobby's Jewel. Mars Bar Kid was second last, and Zululand was last of all.
Thank you to Terry Spargo. Their race number 2.
Race number 2 of the night. Checks as Tear Gas. Race 2, Wentworth Park Racing. Tear Gas has come out okay. Oh, Party Mood came out beautifully. Cross to the left and lead settling from Delia Woods. Subtle Edition is up third. False Tales is wide and getting along the fence behind them. See Your Princess from Tear Gas, and then Rainey's Prince with Cobra King. Party Mood led down the back, quickly going out after it. Delia Woods on the outside. Subtle Edition, False Tales between runners, and on the fence See Your Princess. On the corner it's Party Mood and Delia Woods together. Subtle Edition down the outside. Delia Woods and Subtle Edition. Delia's coming away, and Delia Woods wins it. Delia Woods by 2 lengths. Party Mood ahead away third. Subtle Edition from See Your Princess, Tear Gas, False Tales. Further back was Rainey's Prince and Cobra King last.
Back to Peter in a moment. 167, race 2, Wentworth Park. Now,
Just about set at the 1800 metre dispatch. It is a start. Now Earner's Beauty going forward at the start. Precious Lotus trying to kick up on the inside to hold a forward position. Earner's Beauty's going to go to the front. Kawatha Hanover will land well back. Baker Street comes across from its wide draw to move up second. Mayhem goes on with the job. It's trapped wide back along the inside. Tronon on settling as they steady up a little on front. In front, Timely Treasure between runners. Kawatha Hanover 6 or 8 metres away, and Melvin Skipper at the tail. Mayhem couldn't get in. It has to ease back now, but it might even drop it in front of Kawatha Hanover. Down the back, Earner's Beauty led by a metre. That Baker Street, though, goes up and applies the pressure. Baker Street joining Earner's Beauty. 5 metres, Precious Lotus. Timely Treasure's lost the back of Baker Street. Tronon back on the inside. 3 or 4 metres to Mayhem. 6 metres away then Kawatha Hanover. And last of all was Melvin Skipper. Onto the bend they swing, a lap and a quarter to run. First quarter 29.8, and Earner's Beauty the leader. On the outside, working away Baker Street, but it's had a tough first lap. Behind them, Precious Lotus. Timely Treasure taking closer order. Then following them on the rails, Tronon in the centre. Mayhem as Kawatha Hanover starts its move 3 wide. And following home Kawatha Hanover is Melvin Skipper. Past the 800. Still Earner's Beauty the leader by a metre or so. In second placing Baker Street. The second quarter they slowed up a little to 31.1. Behind the leader Precious Lotus. Kawatha Hanover moves up out 3 deep. Timely Treasure in the centre with a nice trail home. Melvin Skipper, Tronon on the inside, and Mayhem last in a packing field. Down the back they race. Earner's Beauty is the leader. Baker Street in the centre, and now joining in solidly out 3 wide Kawatha Hanover. Still carting at home though is Melvin Skipper. Precious Lotus down on the inside. Timely Treasure between runners. 3 wide Mayhem, Tronon the rails. Halfway round the turn, Kawatha Hanover's got to the lead by a couple. Earner's Beauty under pressure. Melvin Skipper's got its chance now, coming out after Kawatha Hanover. Then Baker Street, Precious Lotus behind them into the straight. Kawatha Hanover went to the front from Earner's Beauty. Melvin Skipper not doing enough for mine, and Kawatha Hanover's going strongly. Another very good performance. He's too good. Kawatha Hanover 3 metres. Earner's Beauty battled it right out. Melvin Skipper close up third. Then Precious Lotus, Tronon with it. Baker Street in the centre, clear of Mayhem and Timely Treasure. Well, they've gone very hard. That certainly helped the favourite, but he's had to make all the running from the 1,000 metre mark. 3 wide to do so, and he's been too good. For Kawatha Hanover, Lance Justice first. Second placing will go to 6 Earner's Beauty. David Smith. That burn in the early part from Baker Street has certainly not helped the mare, but she boxed on okay. And 9 Melvin Skipper looked a chance off the back with a nice cart home, but it hasn't been able to catch the other 2. 4, 6 and 9 will be the placings. They've gone just outside 2 minutes, so you can see even though the track certainly is rain affected, they're still able to run time. The winner for Kawartha Hanover is owned by C&A Gillespie, a brown or black colt, 3 by Kawartha Robust out of Dotty Hanover, trained and driven by Lance Justice. It's his first season of racing as a 3-year-old. He's had 16 starts for 10 wins and 3 seconds, and certainly I'd imagine he's going to figure as one of the finalists in the Robot Industries 3-year-old of the year here in South Australia. It's been...
Slan, look at them. And there they go. Getting pretty close to the line. One galloping there in 3rd spot. As they hit the line there at Albion Park. Here's Terry.
As Tinkerman dashes away. Tinkerman's in front of Tiny Tim and then Jingle Bells, and it's Tinkerman from 55 metres, beating Jingle Bells and Tiny Tim second and Jingle Bells third. They were followed home by Downtown Brown, who made up plenty of ground from his 65. Then Aussie Sense, and further back was Malibu Boy in company with Hot to Trot, and then Shadow Prince, Uptown Girl. Further back came Surfing Spirit, and they're still coming. Then Copper Top, followed by Black Thunder, and last home was Nobby's Nuts.
Right, thanks, Terry. So, Tinkerman first and Nobby's Nuts was last in the mini trotting race there tonight. There'll be a couple of those, I would think, at Albion Park. 25.
The Cruise Control has its admirers. Now they're all set. 2,380 metres. They're ready in the back straight. The mobile barrier now pulls away. And away they go. Showing speed is the Cruise Control. Leads early from out wide. Clayburn. Supreme Skipper mixing its gear momentarily. Drops out of it to about 4th last. Riviera Josh gets to 3rd as the Cruise Control leads. Waruk Jet is 4th. Back in behind them, Just Man, the outside of Maxwell Trick. Then Supreme Skipper now getting back into the running line and pacing a little bit better. And now pulling out 3 wide momentarily. Fine Glance the fence. Second last Fast Fergus. And 8 metres away, What a Swan. Around the turn in the first circuit, the leader is the Cruise Control. For a stride, he wobbled on the turn by 5 metres to Riviera Josh. 6 metres away, Maxwell Trick on the inside of Clayburn as Just Man pulls out 3 wide down the straight the first time. Fine Glances 4 back on the inside of Waruk Jet. Supreme Skipper 3rd last, followed by Fast Fergus, and 2 metres away, What a Swan. At the lap and 3/4 out of the straight, and from last, just for a stride there, What a Swan was about to pull to the outside 3 wide. Towards the back near the 1600, the leader is the Cruise Control by almost 3 metres. Just Man sits up on the outside second, 3rd a metre back as Riviera Josh. Then Clayburn with cover. 5th on the fence, Maxwell Trick. 2 metres away, Waruk Jet. In behind them, Fine Glance, then Supreme Skipper. Fast Fergus the fence, and 2 metres away, What a Swan. At the 1400, they're about to work off the top turn once again. And the Cruise Control, he's had a pretty good run the first circuit by 2.5 metres to Just Man. A metre back and 3rd is Riviera Josh. Then Clayburn the outside 4th. 5th on the fences, Maxwell Trick, followed by Waruk Jet, the running line. In behind them, Fine Glance, followed by Supreme Skipper. What a Swan from last now was set alight, but Supreme Skipper comes out in front of him. So just for a stride, What a Swan was out 4 wide. Now easing and latching onto the back of Supreme Skipper. And Fast Fergus, one off the fences last. They've got a circuit to go at the 900. It's the Cruise Control, narrowly by a neck to Just Man. On the fences, Riviera Josh. Supreme Skipper's out 3 wide, making ground, being trailed up in turn by What a Swan. Then Clayburn the centre. Maxwell Triggers held up on the fence, followed by Waruk Jet. Second last is Fine Glance, and pulling out Fast Fergus out 3 wide and going home on the back of What a Swan. Down the back at the 650, it's still the Cruise Control. He couldn't have had an easier run by 2 metres. Just Man under some pressure the outside with Supreme Skipper 3 out. In behind them, Riviera Josh, the leader's back, followed by Clayburn. What a Swan about to pull to the outside 4 wide. He does now. In behind them, Maxwell Trick, followed by Waruk Jet, Fast Fergus and Fine Glance. 350 out before the turn. It's the Cruise Control, held together by 3 metres to Just Man. He's under pressure with Supreme Skipper. What a Swan pulls to the outside 4 wide. Riviera Josh needing a run. Fast Fergus is right off the track, followed by Maxwell Trick. But the Cruise Control, he comes inside the 200 by 3 metres. Just Man can't pick him up. What a Swan not going well. Fast Fergus making round, but the Cruise Control, he raced away at the 100 metres. Fast Fast Fergus gets into second placing, but the Cruise Control bolts in. The Cruise Control wins by 8 metres. Fast Fergus second, 4 metres away third. I think Fine Glance, a nose to What a Swan. Then Riviera Josh Maxwell Trick. Waruk Gent back in behind them, followed by Claiborne Just Man, and tailed off in the race Supreme Skipper. And he may have...
Yeah, 2-3 and a photo.
Now, ready to jump, lure rolling. Third, Wenty. Racing. Good Dispatch coming out very fast was Witch's Cape, straight to the lead from Alert Brute. Clow Valley Lane, Lauray the outside. Farmer Wilson is hunting through between runners, and then back at the tail of the field, An Asset, Playgirl and Office Charm. Witch's Cape went to the back in front from Clow Valley Lane. Farmer Wilson hooking around the field, and then came 3 lengths to Lauray. Further back was Playgirl and Alert Brute on the corner. The leader was Witch's Cape. Here comes Farmer Wilson. Playgirl is rocketing home, but nicely clear Witch's Cape down the running, and Witch's Cape is too good. Witch's Cape 2 lengths to Playgirl, ahead away third Farmer Wilson. Behind them Clow Valley Lane from Office Charm, Lauray. An Asset and Alert Brute was last.
3, 5, 6 there. Race number 3, Wenty Park. Now 9-4 for number 7. It's had the support Serendipity Grant. Corporate King at 20s. 14s for number 10. 50s for number 11. 9-2 for number 12. That's for race number 3. We'll update Brisbane again for you in a moment. The State Saver Pace, race 5, Maitland, here's Ned.
The Master Mambo 3 deep without cover. On the rail, Bureen Lad. On the outside of it would be a Master Speed, followed then by Inform, Bonafortuna, Bugs 2, and still Hidden Goal brought up the rear. Down to the judge, they travel 2 circuits or 1,500 metres left to go, and Jick Power showed the way a neck to first contender. Bureen Lad next in advance of Master Speed, Bugs 2, Bonafortuna. Hidden Gold, Inform, and Master Mambo was trailing. They cast the bullpen corner astern and commenced the run down the back, 1,200 out, and it's Jick Power by 3 parts of a length. The first contender without cover, third the rail, Bureen Lad, being followed then by Master Speed, Bugs 2 on the inside of Bonafortuna. Hidden Gold was third last, Inform second last, and Master Mambo brought up the rear. That was the order as they left the back and moved to the turn, a lap and a quarter before them, and it's Jick Power by a half a length to the good of first contender. Bureen Lad next from Master Speed, Bugs 2. Bonafortuna from Hidden Gold, Inform, and Master Mambo. They cast the home turn astern and commenced the run down the judge. The bell lap coming up this time, and still Jick Power was in charge and doing it well. 3 parts of a length to first contender. Bureen Lad was third on the rail, followed by Bugs 2, Master Speed, Bonafortuna, Hidden Gold, Inform, and Master Mambo. They make the run out of the straight and over towards the 600, and still the leader was Jick Power, about ahead now to the good of first contender. Bureen Lad's off the rail, followed then by Master Speed. Bugs 2 now coming into it from Bonafortuna, Hidden Gold, Inform, and Master Mambo was last. 500 to travel, and the leader now first contender going out after it with a good run now was Bureen Lad. They were followed then by Bugs 2, Jick Power. Further out still was Master Speed from Bonafortuna, Hidden Gold, and Inform was last of the main division at the corner, 350 out. First contender in front, Bugs 2 throwing out the challenge. It's first contender and Bugs 2 to swing the corner. I should say Bureen Lad and Bugs 2, then first contender and Hidden Gold in the straight. Bureen Lad in front. The Osborne boys, father and son, having a soul-stirring struggle. It's Bugs 2 on the outside and Bureen Lad. They go to the wire. Bugs 2 won the money. Bureen Lad second, Hidden Gold third from Inform, first contender. Next to go down Bonafortuna, Master Speed, Jick Power, and Master Mambo last in.
Bugs 2 with the winner there, 1, 8 and 7 across the line, race 5, Maitland.
Back Son of Fury's back from the inside of the second row. Corporate King back from the outside of the front row. Lights on. Racing. Bermuda Melody came out of the gate quickly. Tippecanoe began well. So did Ruxton. So did Fury's Finito. And Corporate's going up on the rail. Then Exodero, Hike Along and Vanston Lord, followed by Son of Fury. Serendipity Grant second last, and Corporate King went to the fence and dropped out to the tail. Now Son of Fury galloped running around that top corner, and Serendipity Grant had to veer wide to miss the galloping Son of Fury as Tippecanoe worked to the lead. At at the 1200 metres mark, and Tippecanoe shows the way by more than a length. Bermuda Melody's second, Ruxton third in the breeze, Corporate fourth on the inside of Fury's Finito, and then Exodero three back in the running lane. Hike Along on the fence, followed by Vanston Lord on the outside of Corporate King. Serendipity Grant's out three wide, about to make a move, though Vanston Lord came underneath Serendipity Grant as they ran past the judge and the bell, and Son of Fury's last, 29.7 the first quarter of the mile. They're turning out of the straight, and Tippecanoe is the leader by more than a length over Ruxton, and Vanston Lord travelling up swiftly out three wide. Bermuda Melody on the fence behind the speed. Serendipity Grant's three deep, Corporate the rail, and Fury's Finito in the centre. Then Son of Fury on the outside of Exodero. Hike Along second last, and Corporate King at the tail. 33.4 the middle section. Vanston Lord's gone to the lead. 5.50 to run, and Vanston Lord a length and a half in front of Tippecanoe. Serendipity Grant moves up on the outside. Ruxton's under pressure. Then Bermuda Melody, followed by Son of Fury, Fury's Finito, Corporate King and Corporate. Vanston Lord two clear at the 300 metres mark. Serendipity Grant full board trying to chase the leader. Tippecanoe third, and then Ruxton. Vanston Lord leads on the bend. 200 to run, and Vanston Lord flattens out clear of Serendipity Grant, who's under pressure. Then Tippecanoe and Ruxton battling on the outside. Vanston Lord leads with 70 to go. Ruxton still coming, but the post will be too close, and Vanston Lord wins. Vanston Lord beat Ruxton. Tippecanoe third, then Serendipity Grant, Hike Along and Corporate. Bermuda Melody, Exodero.